Kojima's new horror project OD isn't just one story, it's an anthology of nightmares. Kojima himself is directing a segment called Knock, focused on that primal terror of someone pounding at your door when you least expect it. It sounds simple, but in his hands it becomes something deeply unsettling. He's not alone either. Jordan Peele is co-writing, and the cast already includes Sophia Lillis, Hunter Schafer, and Udo Kier. Each director involved is rumored to bring their own vision of fear, so no two episodes will feel alike. Leaks even suggest perspective shifts, moving from first-person to over-the-shoulder, with phone interfaces that blur the line between the game and your own screen. Classic Kojima mind games. The teaser footage hits hard. A candlelit ritual, muffled cries, worms slithering in the dark, and finally a hand closing over someone's face as the knocks echo louder. It feels like a spiritual successor to PT, but pushed into new territory with Unreal Engine visuals and meta-human scans that make every close-up uncomfortably real. There's no release date yet, but OD is confirmed for PC and Xbox Series X and S, using cloud tech to push the boundaries of what a horror game can be. Kojima says it's not just a game, not just a movie. It's something in between, and it wants to test exactly how much fear you can take.
Oh, you're FBI? Investigating all these strange deaths, huh?
Grace, stay close to me.
I'm coming!
Keep moving.
What's wrong?
I'll explain later.
I've been watching you. You're not like other people, you know. You're quite unique.
Tell me what's going on.
Something important.
Mom, I'm scared.
Grace. They're coming.
There's no escaping your destiny.
Resident Evil Requiem brings the series back to survival horror roots with a new lead character, Grace Ashcroft. She's an FBI analyst pulled into an investigation that takes her to the Wrenwood Hotel, the same place where her mother, Alyssa Ashcroft from the Outbreak games, once met her end. What starts as a routine case turns into something bigger, dragging Grace into the legacy of Raccoon City itself. 30 years after its destruction, the city's ruins still hide nightmares that refuse to die. Gameplay is built on exploration, puzzles, and resource management, with the freedom to swap between first-person and third-person views. Each perspective has unique touches. Third-person even has exclusive animations that add weight to how Grace moves and fights. Combat isn't about mowing down hordes, it's about surviving with what little you can carry, managing ammo, and deciding when to stand your ground or run. The developers also teased a new tension system designed to make the peaks of fear and those small moments of relief hit harder than before. The world itself pushes that tension further. Raccoon City is back, not as a nuclear wasteland, but as a broken urban zone scarred by a thermobaric blast. Streets are partially intact, meaning you'll explore more open areas, and rumors even suggest a second playable character could shift the pace with a heavier combat focus. It feels like Capcom is expanding the formula without losing what makes Resident Evil tick. Resident Evil Requiem launches on February 27th, 2026 for PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S. Halloween the game puts you right into Haddonfield in 1978, and at the center of it all is Michael Myers. In the asymmetrical multiplayer mode, one player becomes the Shape, while the others play as neighbors and survivors, doing everything they can to make it through the night. Survivors aren't soldiers or cops, they're ordinary people, forced to hide, set traps with whatever they can find, arm NPCs, and even call for help. Michael moves quietly, stalks shadows, and sabotages phones and alarms before closing in with that kitchen knife. But it's not just multiplayer, there's also a single-player mode where you actually walk in Michael's shoes. That means stalking through the Myers house, moving down the streets of Haddonfield, and reliving locations pulled straight from the classic film. It's less about fast action and more about sinking into that eerie, unstoppable presence. The developers say the map will feel alive, with AI neighbors to warn, houses to search, and a flow that changes depending on how you play. And while it draws clear comparisons to Friday the 13th the game, IllFonic is leaning into the slower, colder tension that makes Michael different from Jason. Every encounter is about dread building as you realize you're being hunted, or that you are the hunter. Halloween the game launches on September 8th, 2026 for PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S. Ill is a first-person survival horror that throws you into a remote settlement overtaken by something called the Aberrations. These creatures were once human, but the experiments done here twisted them into monsters that don't just die when you shoot them. They sprout extra limbs, crawl after you even when torn apart, and sometimes even pull themselves back together. You play as an ordinary survivor caught in this outbreak, and every corner of the settlement feels unsafe. Combat in Ill is heavy, messy, and unforgiving. The mutilation system means that every bullet or swing has visible impact. Flesh tears, bones snap, and enemies react differently depending on where you hit them. You'll have to keep your weapons repaired, search for upgrades, and manage your inventory carefully since resources are scarce. It's not just about pulling the trigger, it's about making every shot count, knowing that wasting ammo could mean your end. The environment itself is just as dangerous as the monsters. Floors collapse under weight, walls break apart, and debris shifts around you, changing how fights play out. Nothing feels scripted, and that unpredictability keeps you on edge. Sound design amplifies it all. Binaural audio makes every scream, knock, or drip of water sound like it's right behind you. It creates the feeling that the game world is pressing in on you, even when nothing is there. There's no confirmed release date yet, but Ill is in development for PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S.
Why are you here? No, in this place. Why are you here? You're to be punished. That's good, I like it. You know what, I think you're right. I think we've done something so awful that we are stuck here in this place, being judged by these people. But for you, I think it's more than that. I think you're here for some other reason. And I don't want to be anywhere near you when you figure that out.
Silent Hill Townfall is one of the more mysterious projects in Konami's revival lineup, and that's exactly the point. It's being developed by Screen Burn, the team formerly known as No Code, best known for atmospheric experiments like Stories Untold and Observation. This isn't a remake or a retread, it's pitched as an anthology-style experience, telling a new story within the Silent Hill universe while leaning hard into psychological horror. The first teaser doesn't give much away, but it sets a tone. A radio crackles with distorted voices talking about punishment and judgment, flashes of eerie imagery appear for just a moment, and subliminal text hints at something deeply unsettling under the surface. That style is what no code does best, making you feel like you're piecing together fragments of a nightmare, never quite sure if what you saw was real. Details on gameplay are being kept hidden, but with François Besançon attached as creature designer, it's safe to expect disturbing new monsters joining Silent Hill's legacy of iconic horrors. And with Annapurna Interactive involved alongside Konami, the expectation is a slow-burn, narrative-driven experience where exploration and dread matter more than action. There's no release date or platforms confirmed yet, but Konami insists Townfall is still deep in development, moving into its second act of production.
A long time ago, there was a village here that disappeared during a festival, and people who get lost in the woods are called to the village. Do you think this is... What happened?
The ritual will begin soon.
Everyone's dead. Mia, no, stay back, run away. Fatal Frame 2, Crimson Butterfly, Remake.
Fatal Frame 2 Crimson Butterfly Remake takes one of the scariest Japanese horror games ever made and rebuilds it from the ground up. The story follows twin sisters Mio and Mayu Amakura, who stumble into the abandoned Minakami village after chasing a crimson butterfly. What feels like curiosity quickly turns into a nightmare, as the village is filled with restless spirits and a dark ritual tied to the twins' fate. The camera obscura is your only weapon, a cursed camera that can trap and harm ghosts if you capture them at the right moment. It's simple on the surface, but in practice it forces you to face your fear head-on, waiting until spirits are right in your face before you snap the shot. This remake expands on that tension with sharper visuals, more detailed ghost designs, and refined controls that make every encounter more intense. A new mechanic lets Mio and Mayu physically hold hands as they explore, strengthening the emotional connection between them. It's not just cosmetic, it changes how they move together and underlines the bond at the heart of the story. The remake also expands Minakami Village itself, with new areas, secrets, and ghost encounters that weren't in the original. With upgraded graphics powered by modern hardware and multiple language options, the remake preserves the atmosphere of the 2003 classic while giving it the fidelity and weight it always deserved. Fatal Frame 2 Crimson Butterfly Remake is set to release in early 2026 on PS5, Xbox Series X&S PC, and Nintendo Switch 2.
This place has been buried for centuries. Today is our chance to discover what no one else has seen.
Reed, do you copy?
Loud and clear, Alice.
The earthquake has turned everything upside down. You won't believe what I'm seeing. Hey, drop me a crowbar. I'm gonna try to get in. I'm hooking up the camera now. Let me know if you're getting the feed.
Behind you! There's something behind you!
I've never seen anything like this before. What was that? I think I'm not alone down here.
Dark Mass takes horror to a place most games never dare, deep underwater. You play as Alice, a diver exploring alongside her brother Reed when the two stumble onto a shipwreck. Beneath it lies something impossible, a grand manor house perfectly preserved despite being submerged for centuries. It's not just a ruin, it's cursed, and entering it means being trapped in a nightmare far below the surface. The manor feels alive. Doors shift, corridors twist, and time itself doesn't behave normally. Exploration is the focus here, but every step is built on tension. Oxygen levels add pressure to your decisions, and the silence of being underwater makes even small sounds, a creak, a whisper, a shadow moving in the distance, feel overwhelming. Gameplay leans into psychological horror. There are puzzles to solve, hidden passages to discover, and an oppressive atmosphere that keeps you questioning what's real. Alice isn't armed to the teeth. She's vulnerable, reliant on her wits, and limited tools to survive. The game thrives on making you feel isolated, with only the faint glow of your light and the vast weight of the ocean pressing down around you. Visually, the manner is striking. Chandeliers sway as if still catching a breeze, wallpaper peels in slow motion, and furniture floats eerily in place. The setting makes every hallway unfamiliar even after you've passed through it before. Dark Mass is set to release in fall 2026 on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S.
We are going to do this. Just lower the gun.
Not until you move from the scanner. Those things can change shape.
Don't you ever point that thing at me again.
Scan complete. Subject unidentifiable.
We need urgent assistance.
Directive 8020 is the next chapter in the Dark Pictures anthology, and it's taking horror out into deep space. Earth is dying, so humanity launches the colony ship Cassiopeia toward a new world. But after crash landing on Tau Ceti F, the surviving crew realizes something else is on board. An alien organism that doesn't just kill, it can mimic them, taking their voices, their faces, even their memories. Trust disappears fast, and paranoia becomes the real enemy. Like past Dark Pictures games, you'll control a group of 5 characters, each with their own personality, skills, and fragile chances at survival. Every decision you make changes their fate, choices about who to trust, when to fight, or when to hide. New mechanics expand the formula. Stealth and evasion matter more than ever, with tools like scanners, wedge devices, and wrist-mounted flashlights giving you options to navigate the ship. There's also a new Turning Points feature, letting you rewind critical moments if you want a second chance. Or you can play Survival Mode, where every choice sticks for good. The atmosphere shifts from claustrophobic corridors to the desolate surface of Tau Ceti F, combining sci-fi exploration with classic survival horror tension. The alien threat isn't just another monster to shoot at, it's designed to get under your skin, forcing you to second-guess every decision. Directive 8020 was delayed from 2025 and now launches in the first half of 2026 for PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S.
Better use the pendulum.
The Occultist is a first-person horror adventure where you play as Alan Rebels, a paranormal investigator searching for his missing father. His journey takes him to Godstone Island, a place abandoned after a cult's twisted rituals in the 1950s left it cursed. The island is rotting, filled with locked manors, ritual chambers, and fragments of the cult's dark history. Alan isn't just there to explore, he's pulled into the same supernatural forces that destroyed his father. Instead of guns or heavy combat, Alan relies on stealth and his signature tool, a mystic pendulum. This device has 5 unique abilities that let him interact with the world in unsettling ways. You might use it to reveal hidden paths, influence animals, or disturb spiritual energies that block your progress. The pendulum becomes your lifeline, forcing you to balance curiosity with caution as its powers dig you deeper into the occult. The game emphasizes puzzles, exploration, and narrative. Journals and documents piece together the island's past, while stealth keeps you alive against forces you can't confront directly. It's not about action, it's about dread, quiet footsteps, and the pressure of knowing you're always being watched. Visually, the island feels oppressive, mist rolling through forests, candlelit altars left behind by cultists, and decrepit structures that look ready to collapse. It's a setting designed to suffocate you with atmosphere. The Occultist releases in 2026 for PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S. Reanimal is the next horror project from Tarsier Studios, the team behind Little Nightmares, and it pushes their creepy style into something even darker. You play as a brother and sister trapped on their home island, now twisted by strange mutations. Their mission is simple on the surface: rescue their missing friends and escape. But the island itself has turned into a nightmare, full of warped landscapes and creatures that feel ripped straight out of personal trauma. The game mixes survival horror with cinematic platforming. Movement is side-on and claustrophobic, but the environments feel bigger, shifting between narrow corridors, collapsing houses, and the open waters you explore by boat. That boat becomes your hub, letting you backtrack to earlier areas or venture into side paths for secrets, even though the main story stays linear. You're never alone. In co-op, you and a friend control the siblings together, sharing the tension as monsters stalk you. In single-player, the second character is handled by AI, always on screen thanks to a shared camera that keeps both siblings in frame. That design isn't just visual, it builds constant pressure, reminding you that both lives are at stake at all times. Combat isn't the focus. Instead, puzzles, stealth, and atmosphere carry the weight, while monsters embody distorted hybrids tied to the protagonist's past. It's a game about navigating trauma as much as surviving the island itself. Reanimal is set to release in the first quarter of 2026 for PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and Nintendo Switch 2.